Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if we've hung out before. I'm Amy, and today we're going back to every 90s kid's childhood for a dose of pure nostalgia. Anytime you came down for dinner and smelled this, you knew it was gonna be good. I'm talking about Hamburger Helper. And for some reason, it didn't taste like cardboard and salt back then. It was creamy, cheesy, tomatoey, beefy, all the things. And today, we're gonna make Hamburger Helper the way it's supposed to be, just like when we were kids. So let's get cooking. To start, there's a very small amount of prep to do before we get to the stove. We need 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, so let's get that handled now so then we don't have to do it later. I use my food processor because it's just so much faster than shredding by hand. I would recommend against using pre-shredded cheese though, because the anti-clumping agents like cellulose or potato starch in the pre-shredded cheese can make the sauce feel gritty. When we're done, just set this to the side. I also need to make sure I have the broth for this. And now if you have beef broth or stock already, just use that. But I didn't have any at the moment, so I'm mixing up some beef bouillon ahead of time so I don't have to do it while I'm trying to cook. We need 3.5 cups total for this, and I'm using a big bowl because my largest measuring cup only goes to 2 cups. If you're using powdered bouillon like I am, make sure your water's pretty warm, like the tap on the hottest setting. The bouillon powder will melt down better in warm or hot water, and it won't clump up like it does if you try to mix it in cold water. With that done, we can move to the stove and start cooking. So we want a pretty good sized pot because this whole dish is going into this one big pot. Heat your pot up over medium heat, and when the pot is nice and hot, add in 1 pound of ground beef. I have about 1.5 pounds here, but that's because my husband just loves really meaty, beefy Hamburger Helper. You don't need any oil or anything for this because that beef has plenty of fat. Break the ground beef apart, and then we'll add 1.5 tablespoons of onion powder, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a good pinch of salt, and some black pepper. So the salt and pepper are pretty much to taste, and I would recommend going a little lighter here because you can always add more later if you want, but you can't take any out if you overdo it in the beginning. Now just cook this beef until it's browned and almost completely cooked. If your ground beef renders out a lot of fat, make sure to remove that. You can use a paper towel or some tongs like I'm doing here, or you can spoon it out. A little fat is fine, and we can't get absolutely everything out, but we just don't want the rest of the ingredients to be swimming in beef fat. When the beef is almost completely cooked through, add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste and 1 teaspoon of chili powder. You can also add a little pinch of cayenne here if you want your Hamburger Helper to have a little kick. Stir this up so the tomato paste starts to break down, and then add the 3.5 cups of beef stock, or bouillon in my case. Give this a good stir again, and then turn the heat up and bring this to a good boil. When this is at a boil, pour in 1 cup or 8 ounces of elbow pasta, which is usually about 1/2 box. Turn the heat down to medium-low or even low depending on your stove, and simmer this until the pasta is at your desired doneness, which is usually about 8 to 10 minutes. Also make sure to stir this pretty regularly so that it doesn't stick. While our pasta's cooking, let's make some really quick and easy garlic roasted asparagus because, much as it pains me to admit it, Mom was right when she said I need to eat some sort of vegetable with my Hamburger Helper. So, let's preheat the oven to 400 Fahrenheit, line a baking sheet with parchment paper, and spread out some fresh asparagus. I have 1 bunch here. Melt about 3 tablespoons of butter in a little container and add 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and a pinch of salt. Stir this all up so there's no garlic powder clumps and everything's combined. Now just brush this all over the asparagus, especially on the tops, because the butter will make those asparagus tops nice and crispy. When the asparagus is all coated in the garlic butter, pop these bad boys in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Flip them over with some tongs about halfway through so both sides get nice and roasted. With the asparagus roasting, let's get back to the beefy pasta. You'll notice the liquid level reducing, and it might seem like you're gonna run out of liquid, but avoid adding anything unless you absolutely have to. If it does just get too dry and your pasta's not done, you can add small amounts of water or broth, like maybe 1/4 cup at a time, just until the pasta's finished. And as always, the best way to check for pasta doneness is just to eat some. When it's done, pull the pot off the heat. We're gonna stir in 1/3 cup of heavy cream, and you can see here that this is starting to look creamy. Now stir in your 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. At the moment, you can see here that it still looks a little watery or thin, like the sauce has not fully come together. Just let this rest for about 5 minutes and the sauce will become perfectly thick and creamy, just like what we want. Our asparagus is done right on time. It's beautiful, it's buttery, it's garlicky, perfect addition to our dinner. And check this out, after 5 minutes, this hamburger helper looks exactly as I remember it from when I was a kid. That sauce has set up beautifully, so let's plate up our dinner. The last little bit is to sprinkle some shredded or grated Parmesan on that asparagus, and we're ready to eat. Okay, so this hamburger helper tastes like my childhood memory, rose-colored glasses and all. I have no idea if it really did taste this good when I was a kid, or if it's actually just the nostalgia talking, but this right here is what hamburger helper is supposed to be. You know, like Anton Ego when he takes a bite of ratatouille? This right here is a time warp from the first bite until you're looking for a piece of bread to clean the plate. The asparagus is buttery, it's garlicky with that nice salty Parmesan. I'm totally not mad that my mom was right about eating my veggies. I mean, it's garlic and butter, what's not to like? Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, it really helps my little channel to grow. Please leave me a comment if you enjoyed the video. Maybe let me know what your favorite comfort food is and we can make it here. Come and hang out with me on Wednesdays for my exploration series. We're currently on a road trip in the Southwest, exploring tacos from the California coast to the cattle ranches of Texas. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next Sunday for some more cozy, comforting home-cooked goodness. Bye!